Elaine, great to have you here in the King Studios. You've had some great experiences with Neil Kelly Company, Handyman Home Repair Team, and I'd love to find out your story. Talk a little bit about what you were up against at your house and what kind of brought you into thinking, I need some professional help here.
Okay. I actually started off with the other part of the Neil Kelly Company. I had an extensive remodel done after I bought the home about 4 years ago. And then being new to Portland and not knowing how to get things done, when I had this great idea to connect my decks that were really in need of upgrading, and I thought it would be nice to expand the view, I called up the project manager from my previous work with Neil Kelly, and John immediately brought up the Handyman repair team or small project part of their organization. And I was just thinking, but within a day and a half, the project consultant called me up, and we started talking on the phone about what my idea was and what I wanted to have done. And then he immediately came over, I think within another day, and walked through the house with me and talked about the fact of how unsafe part of the deck was with a very low railing. And the other component that I was thinking about was that the side stairs that go back down to a lower yard were very rickety and old boards that were unsafe. This house was actually built in 1955, but it was extensively remodeled before I went into it. Mm-hmm. But there were these parts of the whole house that were bugging me a lot. And I didn't want to go up and down those stairs myself either, because I consider them pretty unsafe. There was no railing. They were just like a ladder practically. So there are a lot of components to what I had to been thinking about. But Thomas had the capability to listen to me really well and then go back and do some research and come back to me and say, these are the parts that really need to be considered. And I knew right away that it was going to involve a carpenter who was the handyman. But if I needed lighting, there was going to be an electrician.
Everything there that you need.
All these things that go into something that you think is so simple is really pretty complicated. But the assurance that I'd had from my previous experience, and as I got to know what was the options that were being given to me, I was really reassured that the Neil Kelly Handyman team could put together a team of highly qualified tradespeople that could come in and do the job for me. And I was really pleased that was how it was going to proceed. So that was the first job. That was like replacing a rickety old stairway, replacing deck boards with Ipe, a wonderful product that I love, putting a railing in, putting some lighting in.
You really wanted to maximize that beauty around your house. And
definitely.
You have the view. And you want to be able to go out there and really enjoy it.
And to be able to entertain, because that previous railing was so low, I just figured somebody was just going to fall over it. It had passed the inspection when I bought the house, but I was never comfortable out there with that railing. So all these things came together, and afterwards I was extremely pleased with the results of that project. But in that period of time that we were working on a little bit bigger project, I had other things that needed to be done. And as simple as I had a wonderful quilt that had been given to me when I retired from Alaska and the public health nursing group up there. And I knew where I want to put it. But it was in a landing area that, I just couldn't get up on a ladder myself and do it. And so again, I could call the handyman, and he came in and placed it exactly where I needed it. And it was up there securely. So that got done immediately. That was a right-away project. I also needed to have some screens put in because I wanted more air circulation in the house. So
isn't it funny? It's kind of like Pandora's box. You keep on. It's like, wait, come back. We have more for you.
And that's what happens when you have a home that's a little bit older or you want to improve on, and you feel that your home I spent time there, I want to entertain there, and I just wanted to improve on it. So anything that I could think of, they could certainly do.
You keep on throwing them these challenges. So what was the process like while they were working? You have all these teams of different, carpenters and electricians marching through your house. Talk a little bit about that, and then how finally the outcome was for you.
Well, that's the part that I really appreciate about how the Neil Kelly Handyman team approaches things. I always knew by the schedule who was going to come at what time, and they showed up on time. They were always whoever was coming in was always very courteous, respectful. And they always picked up after themselves and got the trash away. Little things like that make you feel secure, that you're getting someone who's coming into your home you can trust to be there, and that they're going to treat your home well. They're just not going to push their way through and barge through and just get something done. The other thing that I wanted to mention somewhere along this conversation is that the other part of what I always was able to talk to them about was being environmentally conscious.
Really important factor, isn't it?
Everything from the old lumber to the old railing in that particular project I knew was going to be recycled, because I think they use a recycling center, or I just didn't want to go into the landfill. They really are conscious about that.
So you were able to tell them, this is important to me.
Yes,
and
exactly.
They could meet your need.
Yes, so that's exactly what happened with those types of things. You get a schedule. You have a project coordinator, manager that still oversees things. So even though you may have a carpenter come in, the representative of the company makes sure that what happens is what I want to have happen. And that it's done well. And they know how to do it well. I kind of do too, but they do.
I was going to ask you if you'd ever had any kind of remodeling done by somebody else, but it's clear that this is sort of that wonderful kind of, here's my need, and then Neil Kelly can come in and sort of do it for you without a lot of stress. This is a stressful thing when you have people coming into your house.
I think that's... in my previous life, before I came to Portland, I lived in Alaska for many years, and that's a real do-it-yourself area. And
were you a do-it-yourselfer?
Oh, definitely. Oh. And I still have a tendency towar's that. So,
did they tell you, Elaine, kick back? We'll
well,
take care of it.
They knew I had my eye on everything. But
that's part of the fun too, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. You learn a lot, and you learn. You want to know about your house. How it's put together. At least I do. And so I had never had anybody come in and work for me. I had a husband who was in the construction industry and always knew people. But that meant also that you had to work on a different kind of a schedule, which might take 2 years to get a simple project done. So what I really liked about working with this situation was, made a plan, and it got done, and it got done with very high quality, too.
I wanted to have you share your thoughts a little bit about the price and the value of the work Neil Kelly's Handyman team has done for you. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think that you pay for what you get. And if you want to have a high-quality product, sometimes you need to pay maybe a little bit more. But the outcome and knowing that something is going to stay done, not going to have to repair it in 2 more years, that the quality of the paint was good paint, that the flooring boards were excellent, that means a lot to me. And so I'm willing to pay for that. And I'm also willing to pay for not having to be stressed, not have to have a hassle about what's going to happen, and not being able to trust that the job is going to be done and it's going to be done well.
So you would definitely be recommending Neil Kelly to a friend.
I already have. Several friends.